Hotel Black Power, giving honor to the Creator, excuse me, giving honor to the ancestors, as always, giving honor to my sister, Chief of Staff, Brother Harris Abdul of the Street Law Soldiers, my father, my in laws, and all of our ancestors that are in the ancestral realm that are fighting for the liberation and salvation, just as well as you all out there, that are fighting for the liberation and salvation of our nation. Today, I want to talk about a issue that began plaguing us in the early 80s, and we're still dealing with the remnants of it today, which is the cocaine epidemic. And cocaine epidemic has plagued us from the beginning of the 80s. And the story of the cocaine epidemic was when Oliver North sold weapons to the Contras, the Iran Contras, along with George Bush, Rumsfeld, and the entire conglomerate of devils who in exchange brought the crack cocaine with the permission of George Bush, who was president at the time, who allowed South Central LA and the surrounding counties to be flooded with this drug called crack cocaine. A brother was used, brother by the name of Rick Ross, not the rapper, not the rapper. There's an ex-cop, not him. This other brother, Rick Ross, was used by the CIA and George Bush to be a mass distributor of this crack cocaine, which devastated the lives of millions, not hundreds, not thousands, not several hundred thousands, millions. And for those who didn't even get involved, didn't use crack cocaine, they were still devastated by a family member, a friend, or a neighbor that was using crack cocaine. I mean, I literally seen lives self-destruct before my eyes. I've seen models. I've seen men turn to prostitutes, performing female sex acts on other men for a hit of crack. That's how devastating the crack epidemic was. And it just intensified the black on black violence, starting in South Central LA, but it spread it out worldwide. The entire United States inner cities, where it's predominantly black, were devastated by crack cocaine. If you think about, take a minute and think about all of the brothers and sisters that lost their lives during the peak of the crack epidemic. During the peak of the crack epidemic. I'm talking from 82 to 93, 94, 95. I bet you each and every individual that is melanated knows at least hundreds of brothers and sisters who lost their lives as a result of the crack cocaine epidemic. It also intensified the HIV/AIDS epidemic, where a lot of blacks were lost their lives in that war. inadequate health care. The prison population just skyrocketed, to the millions of brothers and sisters, black and Latino, that were being over-sentenced for crack cocaine. And the prison industrial complex began to become a business, and the slave trade warmed over once again. And we need to think about this. We need to be clear about this, because the reason I'm discussing this, because we are still, even though we have overcome the bulk of the crack epidemic, we still are dealing with the after effects. We're dealing with post-traumatic crack syndrome, where we still possess the behaviors that we're still using crack. And what happens now is the prison industrial complex is about 3.5 million brothers and sisters that are incarcerated. And let me give you a quick rundown of what happens when you're incarcerated. You cavity search, by these perverted correctional officers. You're placed in a cell, you're laying on the floor where other people are detoxing off heroin, off other synthetic drugs, vomit, feces, urine, where you have to lay on the floor for 12 to 15 hours. To the point, and they have a design like that you lay on that floor so long, you'll be begging to get a prison cell bed. And that's the psychosis that this shit plays on our brothers and sisters. And then once again they train those of us who are fortunate enough that didn't have to go through the prison system. They trained them to denounce those family members, friends, associates, comrades, neighbors who are in prison, to denounce these brothers and sisters, to not support them. That they're the lowest of the low. And most of our people buy into that. And then they leave their own family members and brothers and sisters in prison without visits, without any type of financial support, where a brother or sister has to fend for himself. Find a job, work in the kitchen, be a slave, work on a chain gang, just to be able to fill, the empty parts of your stomach up, because prison food doesn't fill you up. You get the portion of a third grader each meal. And then you're treated, you're called all types of niggas, all types of names, and you are provoked to create a situation where they inflict deadly force. We had one brother that was recently beat to death by correctional officers. I'll show you the picture in my next video, where he ended up with, looked like he had 2 faces. He was beaten so bad that it looked like somebody took an air pump and blew his whole face up. Then there's another video footage of a correctional officer raping a teenage girl that's in custody, a teenage black girl that's in custody. And he's on film beating this little child up and raping her. And it's on video. And I advise you, when you get this video, please distribute it as much as you can. Because we can't depend on the white media and white America to do anything about this. Because this motherfucking cracker needs to be dealt with. And see, these are things that I've always talked about, that we never retaliate when it comes to this goddamn devil. We need to take the head off of this cracker. We need to destroy the entire system of racism, white supremacy. Now you're dealing with the crack epidemic. You're dealing with the opiate epidemic. And now that the opiate epidemic has flooded over into white suburbia America, now it's an epidemic and they're doing something about it. They want to have a war on opiate drugs and painkillers and all this shit, and Oxycontin and Xanax and all this bullshit, because these motherfucking crackers are indulging in it. Now they want to do something about it. But 10, 20, 30 years ago, it was okay when, the brothers and sisters were strung out and fucked up and committed crimes such as, which the most common crime is theft. And I know brothers and sisters that were put away for 10 and 15 years for shoplifting, trying to get a hit of heroin. But now they have shows for these crackers called Intervention, where they intervene and they do all this bullshit, and knock on their door and give them a ride to treatment and all this shit. And then you motherfucking niggas say that it's not no racism and white supremacy doesn't exist. Because buck dancing and bojangling and Uncle Ben rice-eating motherfucking coons. This shit, the coonage has reached epidemic proportions. Where you have niggas now are totally 100% comfortable in denouncing their own people and taking the sides of these devils. Right is right, wrong is wrong. But why would you take the wrong side just to please the fucking devil? And it's prices that has to be paid for. From the time that our brothers and sisters were assassinated, our leaders were assassinated, there should have been retaliation. There should have been mass retaliation and examples set for those who are infiltrators, those who are agents, spies, provocateurs. The same thing that Winnie Mandela done over in South Africa, where she was putting gasoline-filled tires around the necks of stool pigeons, rats, agents, provocateurs. But look what happens. With no support, she ends up being the only one that goes to jail at the end. And Nelson Mandela leaves her and gets another woman. And see, when niggas do stuff like that, they are honored for this bullshit. The same way No Good Marshall is honored. And he was a goddamn spy. He was an agent. He was an informant. He helped destroy and bring down so many black militant organizations and movements. But they name airports after him, and he's honored during Black History Month. And I'm telling you all, do the history on that nigga. He was some shit too. And see, we got to start calling these people out. We have to start calling it just like it is. The same way I have my own opinion about Dick Gregory. How can you be such a strong revolutionary, but yet you have no security, and then you cater to both audiences? You cater to white audiences and black audience. So whose side were you really on? Plus you are alpha, you're part of the boule. But nobody wants to say anything about him because, he made his transition. But his transition has nothing to do with his behavior when he was here in physical form. Because what we're saying now, we should have said when he was here. You know, and those are the things that, you know, I'm talking about we need to bring to the table. You know, about the crack epidemic, the drug epidemic, police, terrorism. Where the police just can walk up to a brother or sister and deliberately violate or provoke a confrontation and take that brother or sister's life. You know, shout out to Viola Davis. And also one of my YouTube followers, brother Brian Simpson. Brother, you know, I appreciate you. You are a strong brother. Keep putting your comments in. I haven't responded because I've been busy, but I let no comment go unread, and I appreciate you. But Viola Davis is doing a documentary on TV One about Sandra Bland, Ezell Ford, Eric Gardner, and it's a couple of others, you know, which Eric Gardner's wife, she, you know, she's just some trash too, you know, because what happened with her, she's on television crying with Al Sharptongue, who was an agent also, and crying, you know, about my husband this, my husband that, but then when the money came, you were paid to go on national TV and denounce your own husband. You went on national TV stating that it was literally his fault because you told him time and time again not to go down and sell cigarettes. But let's do this. The money that he brought back to the house from selling cigarettes, you spent it. You had nothing to say about it then. Then you got your skin bleached. You got all these facials and all this bullshit with the money. Instead of splitting the money down the middle with Eric Gardner's daughters. Those were the ones that were fighting for their father, not you. You just wanted airtime. When you found out you were going to be on television, you got somebody to put a perm in your head because you was ripped the fuck up. Prior to Eric Gardner being murdered by those motherfucking scared fucking white crackers. They were scared. When people do shit like that, put those type of chokeholds on, they are afraid that if they let you up and you'll get up and tear off in their ass. And they're fucking cowards. And also they know that they can get away with it. Same way with Freddie Gray's family. You know, you got the whole city of Baltimore. The Gray family has the whole city of Baltimore, you know, sympathizing and marching and protesting and rioting for you all. Then when the money come, what do? You shooting and smoking all the motherfucking money up and riding around in a new car, and all you got was a fucking TV and a car, you know, and you're using, you know, the whole family nothing but fucking junkies. And that brother died in vain so y'all can get high. It's a goddamn shame. I'm calling the shit like it is. You know, we gotta stop, you know, we have to stop turning a blind eye to a lot of this fuck shit that goes on in the black community. You know, it's the same way in these homes with this black on black crime, this self-hatred. You know, these sisters, you know, getting out here, you know, looking for a way, you know, to fuck the black man over instead of sticking with the king. A lot of you all have accepted the devil's proposal in terms of a job, in terms of money, in terms of Section 8 housing. In exchange, you must not have any more children and you must leave the black man alone. Because there are no programs to assist the black man in terms of when a brother comes home from prison or if he loses his job, that he has no type of financial aid or support or no type of housing to help him feel like a man and be a man, because a real man is supposed to have his own home. But you have white supremacy has decapitated the black man's head from the home. And most of you black women have accepted that. You are comfortable with that. Some of you even have gone as far as dealing with other women for comfort and for security of a government housing, of government subsidiary housing. And what about the children? What about our babies that have to watch mommy kiss another woman or daddy kiss another man? Or our babies who are being adopted, which I call it is straight fucking kidnapping and rape by these white, gay, fucking Roman homosexual couples. I seen a white motherfucking cracker kiss the little baby in the mouth, teaching him how to kiss a motherfucking man. We look at that shit. Oh, Brad Pitt and all them, they got black children and, they adopted this. But the reason they doing that shit is to get melanin from these motherfucking babies and to sexually violate them. Look at what happened with George Washington Carver. Why he ended up talking like a woman with a high-pitched voice. Because he wanted people to think that he was gay, because he didn't want people to know that the crackers that took him in castrated him, sucked his motherfucking dick and then cut it off. But the wizard and genius that he was, he still became a master, a black god in his craft. He was a genius. And that goes to show you, no matter what you do to us, we will persevere. We are very, very highly fucking resilient. We will bounce the fuck back. We will always bounce back no matter what. And if you have any ideas or topics that you want to discuss, feel free to do so. But what we have to do as a people, brothers and sisters, is work as one unit. I talk to a lot of people, and I see even the so-called conscious brothers and sisters, they still have a twist of that post-traumatic slave syndrome, in their being. Because sometimes you can hear the selfishness. You can hear where some of the so-called conscious people, claim to be giving up on those who are not conscious. But how long did it take you to come into knowledge? How long were you blind? So we have to be patient with our brothers and sisters. Dr. Collar said it's a 5% in everything. It's a 5% revolutionary in everything. You got the 85 that sleep, the 10 sell out, and the 5 poor righteous teachers. You have that in Christianity, you have it in Islam, you have it in Moor science, you have it in the Hebrew Israelites, you have it in Kemetic history, and you have that 5%. And when that 5% and that 5% and that 5% and that 5% come together, they'll have an impact on the masses that will be so powerful, and the knowledge will be new to the masses, and the majority of them will follow suit. I guarantee you. Because our people are tired of the same old results every Sunday, every Friday at the Mass G, every Sunday in church, that they get on their knees and pray, hooping and hollering, they're in there crying, they're in there pleading for some type of spiritual relief, that they can be able to stand straight up. They can be able to have some economic relief, some morality, some moral relief. And then when they see that year after year, week after week is the same results, when they find themselves with the same vocabulary, with the same vernacular that they went in with an hour ago, in terms of using profanity, in terms of being angry, that, you know, they're looking for a way out. They're looking for a better way. And these are the things that we need to discuss. You know, instead of everybody wanting to be the most smartest, the most intelligent one, the most conscious one, the one who has all knowledge. You know, all of that narcissism bullshit. You know, that grandiose thinking, that grandiose behavior. I'm the king and I'm this. Nobody's over top of me, and I'm the magnificent so and so, and all this motherfucking fanatical make believe bullshit that you created in your own mind. It's all right to look at yourself as a god, because you are. But we have to work together. You are not just the one. No. You know, and let's we got to work together, brothers and sisters. Like Public Enemy say, you know, it's gonna take millions to hold us back. You know, we have to just think. Use your thought process. And in closing, I just want to let my brothers and sisters know that, you know, 2018 you have to be full steam ahead. Stick to your guns. Stay on your foundation. Stand on your square. You know, be a force to be reckoned with. You know, all the tripping off this shutdown, government shutdown, and Donald Trump, all this boogeyman, spookism bullshit that this devil is putting on you. I keep telling you all this. They have to do that periodically to keep people in check by keeping them in fear that something is about to happen. And so to keep you in fear, that way you won't act out the same way during slavery, what they did when they took the Bible and told our ancestors that, you know, they're supposed to do what the slave master instructed them to do. Because if you look in the Bible, Ephesians 6:5 says that slaves obey your human masters with fear and trembling, just as you would serve Christ. So when our ancestors on the ships, you know, were taught that, they did everything that the slave master said, and when they didn't, it created a complex on them, a rebellious complex, and they were told that they were going to go to hell when they passed, and they were beaten to death. And then they were told, don't worry about any riches or any type of peace or any type of freedom or liberation, because you'll get yours at the end when you die. the KKK is a Christian organization. They burn crosses. So who was on the cross that they burn? So it's a matter of us waking up, brothers and sisters. Wake up. Wake up. Your melanin. Use your pineal gland. Don't be afraid to step out of the box. Hotel. Black Power.